Seeds, known online as Wootini, here with another Giga Gamer video podcast. I have a movie bonanza this week. I went and saw 3 movies in the past week. I'm catching up, making up for lost time. Except I'm not really making up for lost time because these are current movies. It's just there's a bunch of stuff out now that I wanted to see, and since I've reactivated my AMC list, I figured why not. So, the first movie that I saw was Old, the new film from M. Night Shyamalan. And I gotta say, you could wait for Netflix on this one. It's a good premise. You know, a bunch of random people wind up on a beach, on an island, and find out that they're aging more rapidly than normal, and they can't escape, and what do? And it's, you know, traumatic. The problem is that the script is not good. I wish that he'd let someone else write his dialogue for him, because the dialogue is, like, not great. Also, the casting did a brilliant job with, like, the little kids growing into teenagers and adult, like, they did a great job with the casting, like, everyone looks right, but for the adult actors who are just gonna get it old, sometimes the old age makeup and the wrinkles and stuff doesn't look great. It also probably didn't help that I was seeing it in, like, one of the Dolby Cinema theaters, because I don't have to pay extra for that, I could just go. So it was, like, super extra detailed, maybe, so I could see, like, the edges of the makeup sometimes. It wasn't that good. Plus, not to spoil the ending, but just to say that the ending is disappointing, not for the reveal, but because it continues on, and I'm just like, no. Now you're ruining it. Like, just let it stand, and just, okay. So he kind of undercuts what he set up, but I won't spoil it because, you know, you'll probably see it on Netflix or something eventually. But don't go waste money for it in the theater. It's not worth that. Secondly, I went to see Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, and I went to see that in IMAX, which turned out to be a bit of a problem because it was supposed to be a 2 o'clock show, and the movie didn't start until 3, because there was a problem with the projector, and I'm just like, come on, people, get your shit together. I got a free ticket for my inconvenience, but I just gave that to my husband, though he's not ready to go back to the movies yet. So, because I have the A-list, I don't need a movie pass. But it's a surprisingly entertaining movie. Granted, don't go expecting to see Snake Eyes in his G.I. Joe costume, because he's not yet Snake Eyes. It's his origin story. Plus, they're not going to want to cover up Henry Golding's very handsome face. So, but it was funny because I was just sort of like, okay, whatever, it's just going to be like some kung fu fights and whatever. The story is actually, like, there's a lot of, like, twisty-turny, like, motivation and lies and secret agendas and all sorts of stuff, and you're like, wait, whose side is who on? And it gets a little, people keep switching sides, and it's just like, whoa. And I was like, this is a little more complicated than I thought it was going to be. I expected to just watch some people beat each other up, some big explosions and gunshots, and call it a day. So I was impressed that there was actually a story there. Some of the fight scenes are actually quite good. They could have been better, but I'm not going to complain. So yeah, that was kind of surprisingly good. Although I can't tell if it was actually good or if I just lowered my expectations so much that it seemed like it was amazing just because it was average. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. So I recommend Snake Eyes. And then the third movie that I saw was Jungle Cruise, which I know. But here's the thing. It's not a great movie. It's very much like that Disney machine. It's based on a theme park ride. It's very much like, here's the story, and we have these, you know, action set pieces, and the special effects, and the digital effects, and the animals, and everything, and it's all wacky humor, and slapstick violence, and all this sort of stuff. And it sort of works. Like, it's fine. Like, it's not trying to be anything more than what you're expecting it to be. You know? Like, it is what it is. It's not trying to be something amazing. It's just It's like the Disney machine cranked this out, and it's perfectly adequate. It's fine. I do wonder if the banter would have been better between the two main characters if it was someone other than Dwayne Johnson. Although, to be fair, he does an actually good job. I was surprised. His banter with Emily Blunt is fine, but I just wondered maybe somebody else might have been able to create some real chemistry there and stuff, because it doesn't quite work, but he's better than I expect him to be. But the thing that made it amazing was the 3D. Now I know that a lot of theaters aren't showing a lot of 3D showings, but if you have a chance to see Jungle Cruise in 3D, please do. That is the way to go, because it is amazing. Like, in the beginning I was like, okay, this is fine. Then there's a shot with like a tree branch coming out of the screen, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. But then it, like, they held it and really pushed it out of the screen at you, and I was like, oh wow, okay. So the director's thinking of 3D when he shot this. That's always helpful. And then there's some scenes with like some snakes that like slither out at your face, and some explosions throwing debris at you and stuff. It was a very good 3D experience, and I recommend it in 3D. Like, seeing it regular, it's like, okay, it's a fine movie, whatever, it's fine. But seeing it in 3D, it was an adventure, and I was like, this is great. I'm very much enjoying this in 3D. In 2D, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But it gets like an extra star just for the 3D effects, because they were quite good. And then as for gaming, I know you're expecting to hear more about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but while I did play a lot of that, I want to talk about something else, because on Friday, I was reminded that the great Ace Attorney Chronicles came out for Nintendo Switch. And I was like, oh right, I forgot about that. So I ran out and bought that, and I started playing it. I'm not too far into it yet. I'm still in the middle of the first case, although I feel like I'm sort of at the end of the first case. But it's great. It's Ace Attorney. It's the same premise, it's the same kind of characters. It's all new, different characters, because this is taking place in the past. So it's like all new characters and stuff, but it's the same premise. There's a judge, there's an annoying, attorney prosecuting, and then there's you on the defense. Although what's weird is the first case, you're the accused. You're being accused of murder, and then you have to defend yourself, which is how the game, like, tells you what to do. And tells you, it's like, that's the tutorial level where it's like, this is how this works, and this is how that works, and then you cross-examine, and then you present evidence, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I've played every Ace Attorney game, I know how this works. So I was sometimes like a couple of steps ahead. Like, at one point, I received a piece of evidence, and I immediately went in to try to examine that evidence because I wanted to turn it over and see what was on the other side. But it wouldn't let me do that because the game hadn't gotten to that part of the tutorial where it tells me, hey, just FYI, you can turn things around and examine them from all angles. So I didn't have that ability until the game told me I had that ability. So that was annoying. But it's very funny, it's cute, it's clever, it's ridiculous. I mean, there's already ridiculous characters and costumes, so I enjoy that. It is a little weird being the accused, because like, normally you're just the attorney, so you don't know all the facts of the case, you have to investigate the case, and then you have to try it, and as you try it and cross-examine people, you learn more information and stuff. But I'm just like, I was literally there when this guy was killed. How do I not know more about what happened, And so that was sort of an awkward storytelling thing for me. But it's super fun, it's super cute, and I'm enjoying trying cases in a ridiculous courtroom that isn't particularly realistic. And so, yeah. So, if you love the Ace Attorney games, we can finally play the great Ace Attorney Chronicles 1 and 2. And we can finally play those in America. They were originally 3DS games. So, the graphics look nice. Like, they're clean. I guess they cleaned up the 3DS models or something. I don't actually know technically what they did. If they, like, redid all the models, or if they just, like, filtered them for high def or something, I don't know. But, it's not like what I would expect a Switch Ace Attorney game to look like, but it's still good, and it doesn't look like it doesn't look like 3DS blown up on the TV, which is good. But I would like a proper Switch one at some point, but I don't know if they're going to make one. But for now, this is fine. I get my Ace Attorney fix, and I can go, objection! And, well, not right away. It took a while before he was able to get confident enough to say, objection! It's so cute, because he'd raise his hand and, look around nervously. He'd be like, can I just interject something? And it's very adorable. So I recommend it. If you're a fan of the series, definitely pick this one up. And I'll have more to talk about that in the next episode, along with the Assassin's Creed Valhalla update with the new festival. I can talk about that. But that's for next episode. And I will see you then. Bye-bye!